make sure to follow us on Instagram at Whistlethrowers. It's a great way to interact with our show. Our DMs are always open for questions, topic discussions, and more. You will be able to find our new episodes and other announcements there.
It's the embodiment of the Las Vegas lifestyle, in my opinion. High risk, high reward.
Thanks for tuning back into the Whistlethrowers podcast. This is Jack Mubarak, joined by
Jack Slaymaker,
Aiden Sinski,
Paddy. Paddy, senior sports analyst and vice chairman of PSP.
All right, let's get into it.
It's Paddy Sport, or PSN, Paddy Sport Network. Yeah.
All right. So we got a lot of games to talk about this week. I'm loading up ESPN right now because I have a shit memory.
Yeah, first one. Do we want to talk about the Thursday night one quickly?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The one that got Brandon Staley officially fired.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that was one of the biggest embarrassments I've ever seen in sports.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be one thing if they played the Chiefs and, the Chiefs just laid the wood on them. Like, that happens.
Yeah.
I get it, But,
Or even the Dolphins when they played
Right.
70, you knew they were a high-powered offense.
Yeah, right. And, I mean, the Broncos sort of got unlucky a lot of times in that game, too. But the Raiders are not good. They just came off a week of getting shut out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was I'm pretty sure that was the second most points in football history from a team that just got shut out the week prior.
That's crazy.
And the only team that had more was the 1933 inaugural Philadelphia Eagles.
Wow.
That was an utter embarrassment. And I mean, watching that game the whole time, and they put up, I think it was 49 in the first half. You're sitting there he's gonna get fired after this game. There's no way he survives this. No way. Not to a division rival. No. And they were at home, or am I wrong on that?
They were away.
Yeah, okay.
But still,
still.
Vegas doesn't have, that home field crowd that you would expect to be playing out like this late in the season.
No, they shouldn't have moved.
No.
Yeah, I don't have much to add on that. Both these teams fucking suck. So.
Yeah.
I gotta disagree. I think the Raiders, actually, when they can build some momentum, they are a force to be reckoned with, both on the offensive and defensive sides.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, who's the defensive end?
Crosby.
Yeah.
Crosby.
Crosby's a stud.
Yeah,
he's the embodiment of the Las Vegas lifestyle, in my opinion. High risk, high reward. Yeah, well, except for the triangle on his face mask representing sobriety. That's
Yeah, right.
it's not a Vegas thing. Man.
Yeah. You disagree heavily with that?
I really do. I mean, they've got, so many tools at their disposal if they can just figure out. And when they do figure out how to actually utilize them, they are one of the best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they do have weapons. I mean, you can't deny
Devontae
that.
Adams.
They do have AOC at quarterback, though.
I don't think... I mean, he didn't look bad this game.
No,
I mean, you have to remember, he was basically the only good quarterback in the Big Ten West when he played there.
Yeah, right.
Which is saying a lot considering that was a very defensive-heavy part of that division.
Yeah.
As bad as we're going to trash their offenses, if you can be a pretty above-average quarterback in a conference that's defensive-minded, you're going to have some success in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about the Big Ten West, though.
Yeah.
Again, defenses are good. I don't know what else to say. They have stud defenses. They just can't score an offense at all.
All right, moving on. You talk about the Bengals and the Vikings.
Yeah, that was a really good game.
Yeah, Jake Browning continues to shine. QB1. QB1.
I completely disagree with that.
Oh, I'll talk about from my fantasy team.
Oh,
Yeah, the one that's in the playoffs.
I completely disagree with that, too. You should have picked up that DeVito.
You look good on Sunday.
Tommy Cutlets, man. He's going to bring the Giants another ring. Now,
If Tommy Cutlets beats the Eagles on Sunday, what will happen in Philadelphia?
I think we need to auction off the playoff spot.
Yeah,
That's-
I know.
part of Patty's picks, I discuss.
Yeah.
I discuss it. That's the bummer there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I thought after the game the Vikings played last week, I thought this was going to be a blowout.
Yeah,
But
agreed.
it was tight. Chandler went off.
I was pretty impressed from Nick Mullins, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, the one pick was crushing.
Yeah.
Was that
It
his
was right in the... What's that?
Was that his first start?
This year.
This year,
in
yeah.
a long time. I mean, I remember he
San
started
Francisco.
in 2020 year. when it was COVID.
Yeah, that was like the whole Jimmy Garoppolo. Like there was multiple quarterbacks they threw out there that year.
Yeah.
Nick Mullins is one of the few guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought he looked good again. Though that play was the embodiment of Nick Mullins. He has talent where you start to believe, hey, maybe this guy could be like a backup to a low end starter, and then he throws a play like that.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, this dude's not going to be having many other opportunities in the NFL.
Yeah, right. And I mean, for that pick to happen in that moment,
So bad.
Oh my God.
And the way it was so low, there was no offensive players around it. It was just bad.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much been their season too. Like they have just had such an up and down season. And honestly, it must have been really fun to be a Vikings fan during the Dobbs Linsanity run for
Definitely.
Yeah.
1 or 2 weeks. But damn, it must be crushing now. Like they racked up a couple losses in a row here, right?
Yeah.
And I thought they had a fighter's chance to like compete with.
Yeah. And I mean, this
Detroit,
this
but
is
no.
their third loss in 4 games,
Yeah.
and the only win they had was 3-0 against the Vegas
Yeah,
Raiders.
so embarrassing.
So yeah,
So
I mean,
pretty much 4 losses in a row.
Yeah.
That was a good game.
technical win, I guess.
That was a good game.
Best game of the year.
That
up
seriously
there.
would have won best game of the year in like 1923. You know?
Oh yeah.
It would have been up there. 'Cause
Yeah.
Just of all the passing yards.
Best game of the year, though, definitely has to go to Bills Eagles.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So far, yeah.
I
I think it's gonna get topped by Niners Ravens.
It could.
Could.
That's gonna be an insane game.
A
This
lot
is-
of those matchups like really underperformed this year.
That's
Yeah.
very true. Yeah.
And the Bills one wasn't even supposed to be the best game.
No.
Because the Bills were struggling going in, the Eagles only had 1 loss, so
Yeah.
by all thoughts, it was probably going to be like,
A
if
blowout.
not a blowout, it was going to be not go down to a game-winning overtime kick. So
Yeah.
That game knocked me out of the playoffs too.
Why?
Josh Allen put up like fucking.
I was there. It was just freaking insane.
Yeah,
that was a
It was
crazy.
freaking-
yeah, I mean, for a while, it felt like it was. Oh, first of all, Jake Elliott's kick through the rain, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for Hurts to put
Impossible.
together a drive like
That was
that, it
impossible.
shows why the Eagles have so much faith in him.
Mhm. And I mean, it's kind of funny how after that game, it looked like the Bills were dead in the water.
Yeah,
Like,
now they've looked.
Yeah, I mean, after that win against Dallas, I mean,
Do we want to go into that game?
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
it's a good spot to
James
transition.
Cook supremacy,
Yeah.
dude.
And
He's
it's
been great this year.
yeah, he really has.
Outside the one game where he got benched, but
That
Wasn't his fault.
It wasn't
That
his
was
fault.
bad.
I know it wasn't his fault.
It did prove to be a bad decision.
Yeah.
Too, I think,
Oh, yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
And I think it proves that you can still win in this NFL
Yeah.
while leaning on your run.
yeah,
And I think the problem with a lot of teams is they get away from it too much.
Yeah.
Like I think that was one thing that killed the Bills when they were losing games in the playoffs, losing to teams they shouldn't lose to.
Yeah.
Like they were just becoming too predictable and pass heavy. When now they've opened this threat of the run with Cook and like a rejuvenated O-line, new coaching.
Yeah.
Like I mean, this is a team we talked about 2 weeks ago that we were saying that's going to be a scary team to play, and like it's kind of coming to fruition where Buffalo and Cincinnati
Yeah.
are going to be in the wild cards, and no one wants to host them. Like Jacksonville or Indianapolis, won't
definitely
want to.
not.
No.
And then you think who else? Baltimore.
Baltimore, I would say they're good. Yeah, Kansas City.
I don't think Kansas City wants one of them
No.
right now,
especially not Buffalo.
I was
Yeah,
going to say
no, not
Cincinnati.
Buffalo.
I was going to say Cincinnati because of their defense. I
Either
think
way,
defense
but
is
I'm
better.
just saying, like Buffalo has that vendetta against
Oh,
Kansas
very
City
true,
for
yeah.
everything that's happened in the postseason.
That's very
Especially last week.
Right. Yeah.
Well, but honestly, both teams are kind of going to get a get back on.
Oh yeah,
Kansas
yeah.
City, you know?
I just feel like the Bills, because of the way that it ended in 2022 with that, or 2021 with that crazy
Yeah.
ending, the fact that Buffalo has struggled in the postseason historically,
Yeah.
like they have so much momentum right now.
Mhm.
They see this as like probably their last chance season
Yeah.
before people start asking when they're going to take the team apart,
Mhm.
and they're going to go into Kansas City with all the firepower that they have.
Yeah, and like you still have a chance to salvage an 11-win
Yeah.
season,
Which
like
is crazy.
That's insane
Yeah.
considering how this was going.
Yeah.
Like, it literally looked like they were going to miss the playoffs by 2 or 3 seeds, and now they're gonna get in.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
they're
Yeah.
gonna get in.
Oh, I do want to talk about the Steelers and Colts game just
Yeah.
for that one hit. Do you guys think it was a clean hit?
No,
Definitely.
No.
I
It
think
was.
No,
I think
it was
so,
not a
actually.
clean hit.
Yes,
That
it
was not a
was.
clean
Okay,
hit.
here's why it was a clean. Do you want to know why it was a clean hit?
Why?
Where was that helmet to helmet contact?
No. That's not why it wasn't. The reason why is because he's a defenseless receiver.
He was
He's
going
airborne.
for the ball. They were both going for the ball.
No, KZ was going to hit him.
It's
That's all
not
he
the
was looking
defender's fault that the quarterback throws the ball in a position
I'm fine
where
with
he's
that,
defenseless.
but he also can't go after a defenseless player. Like they have
Is he just supposed to let him catch it?
He's supposed to go. If he goes for the ball, he just breaks it up, and there's probably a collision. But it's not that bad. He bent his neck backwards. I mean, that was a dirty hit.
It was a dirty outcome.
It was a dirty hit.
By those standards, every single hit in the early 2010s, to quote TB12, would have been considered unnecessary roughness.
Yeah, we can all agree with that.
They're moving to a new, there are a lot of hits back then that still happen today, but there are obviously a number of hits that don't. And here's the thing: the thing changed 10 years ago when the CTE research came out.
And again, I'm all for the safety of players, but at the end of the day, when it comes to a football play like that, and there's no helmet-to-helmet contact, I can understand it fine. I can understand a 1-game suspension for the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's insane.
He's been fined 5 times already for this.
This season.
And he already got suspended.
This season?
Yeah, this season. Yeah. That's why he got the season.
So I guess I get that, but still for that play, I don't know if that's as agreed. Again, to me, if it's helmet to helmet, absolutely. But because it was shoulder to helmet, it changes the direction a little bit.
I think there have been.
I think it's just
I
think it's just the thing of him going at a defenseless receiver.
And again,
he's airborne going for the ball, and you should have honestly. You brought up the point of the QB making that bad play. I mean, if he broke and tried to make a play on the ball, how is Pittman gonna pick that? Be able to break up an interception there? Why don't you go for the ball and create the turnover? Or it gets tipped up in the air and your teammate gets it. But
he was coming at him for the wrong angle. He was coming at him this way, and the ball was on the far side, so he couldn't really get an interception from where he was running. You know.
Well, I've seen that play turn out differently a lot of times, and I've seen people cleanly disrupt that and dislodge it. I'm not saying he has to let him make the catch, but it's also not the guy was just running. He was literally just airborne.
Yeah.
He was parallel to the ground, and he came in with his shoulder into his head. I don't think there's anything clean about it. And considering the five
that changes it for sure.
And I mean, there's only 3 games left. It's not we're talking about an 8 or 9 game rest of the season suspension. He's getting suspended 3 games.
It also is the Steelers too.
They're
not playing for anything.
No.
Yeah, right.
It just but again, you don't know the incentives that this guy's going for.
Yeah.
Those 3 games could lose you a lot more money than just that fine.
Yeah, right. And he's definitely not going to get paid for these games either.
Mm-hmm. I doubt it. If he does, it's all going back to the fine that he's probably going to get on top of the suspension.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, we could skip the Broncos-Lions. I don't really want to talk about the Browns.
Well, I just want to make one point on the Lions. I think if the Lions end up getting a 2 seed, or magically, because it could happen, they could get the 1 magically. If they are in a dome, they're dangerous. It just seems like their entire team plays better in a dome. And then they go outdoors and they look like they did against Chicago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they have had a couple good outdoor games. They went into Lambeau and won convincingly. But considering what has happened lately, especially in this colder weather, I think Detroit, if they had the 1, they would be conference favorites.
Who hosts the Super Bowl?
Vegas.
It's going to be a dome, yeah.
Oh.
They only do domes now,
Well, they didn't do it in Miami.
Well,
they would do it in
Wasn't
Miami.
it 50 degrees that
And
day?
Tampa.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it was really wet. It rained heavily.
Maybe. I remember it snowing the next day, and that was part of the issue. Because people trying to travel home. Although I will point out that the 1 year Dallas hosted in 2010, there was ice that entire time.
Yeah.
So, they can try making the game fine, but I don't know. One of the best NFL championships ever was 1949 or 48 with the Eagles winning 7-0 over the Cardinals.
Yeah.
It's so memorable because it snowed like a foot.
Yeah, no,
I'm sorry. I want to see a Super Bowl where there's snow on the ground.
Yeah, I was literally going to say that. I know it's going to be an unpopular opinion, but I would love to see any outdoor Super Bowl. Just, even if it's not snowing, just a freezing
The Dolphins one was...
Buffalo, man.
Yeah, right.
No one's going to go for that.
But the 2006 Super Bowl between the Bears and Colts was a complete sluggish fest because of how much rain they got.
Yeah, right.
And nobody talks about that being an issue if you're hosting a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay or Miami.
Yeah.
But God forbid we host it in the Northeast because there might be snow.
Yeah, right. I do agree with that. And also, They did host it in Minneapolis, too, for the
It
Eagles.
was literally like 15 degrees outside.
Yeah.
I think we can move into the Texans-Titans game. The only talking point I have is that Case Keenum kept the Texans' playoff hopes alive. I didn't have any expectations for him, but a late field goal sealed the victory. Devin Singletary is definitely the running back one in that room, which the Dameon Pierce fall off is going to be studied for years to come.
Yeah, this is pretty insane. And even like, I mean, we've seen people go from a great year and then slump the next year and get back, but there's really no room for him, I feel like, right now, because I think they want to extend Singletary and keep him around because he's really playing well. So I don't know if there's any, like, he definitely wants a starting job, and he can be a starting running back. I mean, he ran for over 1,000 yards as a rookie. Like, he is good enough to be a starting running back, but it's not going to be there.
No.
With Singletary playing like this, it's not going to be there. And granted, there's going to be another training camp next year where things can change, but the way it's looking, I honestly think both parties would be looking for a way out for him, like a team to take him on. Because there are a lot of teams that would take on Dameon Pierce right now on a rookie deal.
Yeah.
With two or 3 years left on a rookie deal.
Can I point out a team that might want that?
Yeah.
The Carolina Panthers with the Miles Sanders contract.
Yeah,
the way
right.
that's worked out.
Oh,
If you
yeah. I
can
remember
get-
you were hyping him up.
Hey, he had
all
one
beginning
great.
of the
Hey,
season.
he had a great game that week. I mean, his rushing yards.
And you
were like
said
nothing.
it was going to continue.
His
and
rushing
it
yards are
didn't.
awful. Okay, the Panthers barely got in the red zone, so I will say it's not totally his fault, but also they Chua Hubbard also became a very clear, better running back.
I just don't understand how you could watch him in the Eagles and then say, oh, he's going to do good with the terrible O-line.
It's kind of crazy. Like I thought he did so well all year, and then it was like just the Super Bowl he didn't do well, and narrative flipped. And like I don't necessarily disagree with you. Like I think that
No, like I was saying he did all right, but now you're putting him against a terrible O-line. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, right.
I will say that Chua Hubbard's actually looked pretty good with that O-line.
I will say Christian McCaffrey was able to make it work.
Yeah.
Well,
When he played 4 games a year over there.
Well, that's
That is, you
That's a
are
very
right.
good
See,
point.
the thing is, like, you're both kind of right in that because, like, when he was in, he played so well, but then he wasn't in because his offensive line got him hurt.
Awful.
Like,
How many times has he been hurt since he switched?
not like
No.
seriously, he hasn't.
And his usage rate has, if not the same, it might be a little bit higher.
Yeah,
I'd
it
say-
probably is higher.
I'd say exactly the same. It's just he's been able to
Yeah.
actually
Stay
make
healthy, yeah.
make plays.
Yeah,
It probably
you
just,
know?
yeah, you're right. It probably just feels higher than it is.
Yeah.
He's actually on the
More
field every
volume.
game.
There's
When-
definitely more volume.
Yeah.
Well, when he'd make breakout plays with the Panthers, that was all him most of the
Yeah.
time. And then
Yeah.
now he's actually got great blockers, Kittle.
Yeah.
You know?
right.
I mean, that one play that he had against Arizona where he was literally, there was no one within like 15 yards of him on that receiving touchdown was insane.
The thing is, like, when you're that dynamic, like a McCaffrey, or like I'm going to compare McCaffrey and Tyreek Hill. Like, when you
no
are that
competition.
dynamic,
Oh,
you are like there is always going to be room for you in any NFL ever.
Yeah.
Like, McCaffrey came into the league, and that first year with the Panthers and came in, like, they would run so many funky formations.
Yeah.
They'd put him in the slot. They'd put him out wide. They'd put him back to return punts. Like, when you are that dynamic, they just want the ball in your hand because you can make plays anywhere.
well,
And it was the same thing with Tyreek Hill. Like, he came in, got drafted late, returned punts, and they're like, this guy's fast as hell. We're going to give him a shot at receiver. Look what he did. You know, when you're that dynamic, you're going to make plays.
Well, it's the same thing the Niners had with Debo as well.
Yeah,
and then now they've got two just incredibly dynamic players that can do pretty much any position on the floor, you know, for their size.
Yeah, Kittle even,
Yeah.
too. Cause
I would
Yeah,
say
I'm-
Trey Williams, too.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, no, he's a beast,
Yeah.
but
So, Patty, I want an outsider's perspective here because we've talked about this a little bit. Is Brock Purdy an elite quarterback or is he just a system quarterback?
oh, that's a hard one. I've actually thought about this a lot myself. I mean, he's got easily 3 of the best. I'd even say 4. Ayuk really has shined this season. And I see they have a lot of chemistry, those two.
For sure.
I mean, when you've got 4 players that are just decent all around, really, you can. It's pretty damn hard to not make, to win.
Right.
But I don't know. I think he's good enough, and I think with time he could possibly be a franchise quarterback.
Right
for
now,
years
he's
to
my
come,
MVP
yeah.
pick with all the stats that he's
Really?
put up. Tyreek, look, if we're going to go
I'd say
objectively,
Christian McCaffrey, without a doubt, man.
I think I would agree with him.
Tyreek would be my number one if we're going objectively and not go by what the voters go for, which is the quarterback
I mean,
every
you are
time.
definitely right.
If I'm going...
There should be 2.
There should be
classes, in
2.
my
It should be
opinion.
the quarterback MVP and the best player.
Yeah,
MVP.
rest of the league. Yeah.
Isn't that
would
what
make
they
sense.
do? The offensive player of the year.
Yeah,
Isn't that
pretty
what-
much.
Which makes no sense because
Yeah.
how does the MVP not win the offensive player of the year?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't really.
Wasn't
make
Justin Jefferson and Cooper Kupp both offensive players of the year, but not MVP?
Yeah.
Cup should have won MVP
Yeah,
that
I
year.
agree.
Who got
won it that
Super
year?
Bowl
2021?
MVP as well?
That would have been.
It was a quarterback, wasn't it?
It had to have been.
It was either.
Was it Mahomes?
It was either Mahomes.
Yeah.
It was a Burrow
2021.
or Stafford. It was one of those guys.
No, it wasn't
was
Stafford. No.
It was Mahomes because Mahomes and Tom Brady were on the cover of Madden 2022.
Yeah.
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 You're probably right. I can look it up real quick.
I think if Tyreek goes for 2,000 yards, then he definitely should be the MVP.
Yeah.
But if not, I'm leaning towards CMC.
I have to agree complete with Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, it was Rodgers. in
Yeah.
2021.
Oh, it was Rodgers. Oh, that's right. That was
Oh
Rodgers.
yeah, the best quarterback of all
Oh,
time.
you couldn't even remember that.
Yeah.
Can't be that good. How
Dude, he has like 4 MVPs.
How
How am I supposed to
quickly we
check?
forget the moment that a quarterback goes on the Jets, how good they were.
Yeah.
Hold up, total yards. How many does Christian McCaffrey have?
Pull it up.
Yeah.
Because if
It's
it's
a lot.
if it's just, I mean, if you want to do what, Reek's breaking 2,000 receiving yards on that.
Well, he might not because he has like 3 games to get like 458. So
I saw.
It's possible.
it's very possible, but he might not.
I saw today CMC's at 1,801 rushing yards right now, and the record is 2,096 or 7.
Rushing yards alone.
Yeah, right.
So how
he
many
could-
receiving yards does he have on top of that?
Yeah, right. He's definitely over 2,000. But like,
He's
he
got to
could-
have Reek beat.
If he just
Dude.
So
Aiden,
right
pull the
now-
numbers
if he
up.
gets
I
100
got it.
yards
So
rushing
right
these
now
next
he-
3 games,
yeah.
he's the all-time leading
Right now,
rusher
he is
ever.
basically 1,300 rushing yards and 509 receiving yards.
Wait, say it again?
1,300 rushing yards, 509
I saw he had
receiving
more
yards.
today.
You're thinking of total
It must
then.
have been.
And
Yeah.
you think
Eight-
total.
1,800.
See, total, he is basically 1,800.
Okay.
What about
so-
touchdowns receiving?
Touchdowns receiving, he has
Probably tied
7.
with Reek.
Yeah.
7. He has 20 total touchdowns right now.
He's
The record is LaDainian Tomlinson for a running back.
I think he's
He
24.
had 20, yeah.
28.
It was
I think.
like
28.
I think it was 28 because he had like 24 rushing and then 4 receiving. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I'm kind of getting swayed here.
I mean,
I am
it's-
too. It's just Tyreek. If you can get 2,000 receiving yards in this
Yeah.
season,
Like
that's just nuts.
yeah, you won't be able to make the case against that. But I think there is a case.
They're both so good. It's hard to argue. But I feel like it's going to go to a quarterback, and it seems like the quarterback's probably going to be Brock Purdy.
I need to see how the game against the Ravens goes.
That's
'cause
true.
Whoever wins that is going to win MVP.
I mean,
Between
Lamar and
interesting.
Yeah.
so for determining MVP, are you going by passer rating?
I mean, he leads
Because-
the league in passing touchdowns. He leads the league in.
Josh Allen does, I thought.
I think it's either tied or it's close. And maybe Allen passed him in this last game, but I don't.
Josh
think so.
Allen's got to have him beat on passing
Let's see.
yards,
Well,
touchdowns.
I
rushing
know Josh
touchdowns.
didn't have a pass touchdown this week.
Just 2 rushing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right now Purdy.
He did?
I
No,
guess.
he had,
He'll
like-
take it.
He
That
had
was a
like
great game.
194 pass yards, I think.
No, it was 94, I think.
Oh yeah,
I
something.
think
It was very
94. It was
underwhelming.
94.
I don't know.
No, he threw one.
He did.
Yeah, it was to Cook.
No, Purdy is
Oh
more.
yeah, that's
How
right.
many?
Purdy is 29. Allen is 26.
All right, and well, Allen's got
14 interceptions.
How many-
to
Yeah,
Purdy.
that's-
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Purdy's interception touchdown ratio is better.
Purdy's a good
Purdy has more passing yards too than Allen.
How
He's a-
about
he's a really
rushing
good quarterback.
touchdowns with Josh?
Rushing
Oh, he
touchdowns-
hasn't
Yeah,
beat-
oh yeah,
he hasn't
absolutely.
beat.
Well, because Purdy can barely move outside the pocket. Yeah, Allen has 11 rushing touchdowns. So,
So he's got.
Purdy is 0.
He definitely he has
one.
a couple.
He
he's a couple. He has at least one that I remember because
Because he's not like.
Yeah, I remember.
He's not. No, he's not. But I'm just saying.
There's no
He's
point in
not,
him
yeah.
running. He's got.
No, and the
Yeah,
thing
he
is,
has
is
to
the-
Devo. He doesn't even have to leave the pocket.
The only reason he would have to run is scrambling out.
he is 10.
Yeah.
So he is.
So Josh
30
Allen's got
plus.
him beat on total.
Total touchdowns, yeah, but again, Purdy only has 7 interceptions. So that touchdown to interception ratio.
You know
He's
what?
got a couple
Crazy.
fumbles in there too.
You know, here in
Yeah.
Buffalo, we like how Josh plays. You know, he's a high risk, high reward kind of guy. And, you know, when we're all drunk off our rockers, great time. Great time.
Fair enough. Can't argue with that logic.
I can't lie, when Josh Allen lowers his shoulder and
it's
it
unbelievable.
does,
Dude.
it does send a rush through your spine.
I didn't even realize how fast he was either
I know,
until
yeah.
watching
Dude,
him
he
in
moves.
person, dude.
Yeah.
It's like he's getting 2 yards a step. It was crazy.
The two fastest guys in football I've seen at that height, like again, my lifetime,
Yeah.
because I know Harold Carmichael is 6'7" and can move, but Calvin Johnson and Josh Allen are like two of the biggest guys I've ever seen that can just
Megatron,
fly.
dude.
And I mean, Calvin Johnson is faster than Josh Allen objectively, but Josh Allen is fast as
He's
hell.
very fast, very strong.
Yeah.
And that's why you don't see him get hurt at all.
Yeah.
Like, you would think the way he runs, like, we've seen Hurts, who has a pretty big size. Well, we know already how much he can squat because that's been talked about. But, I mean, I feel like when you watch Hurts, he doesn't have the same just physical tenacity that Allen does when he runs the football.
I think he
never really
did
seen that
last
before.
year a little bit.
A
I
little
don't
bit, but then he
even-
got hurt, and I feel like
Yeah.
that's when you change up his style of it.
I don't know if physical tenacity. I think he was elusive.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually take that back.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
going for elusive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, just because I never like Hurts is strong, and obviously we've seen with the brotherly shove what he can do with an offensive lineman. But I've never seen Hurts just truck linebackers the way that Allen does. Like, it's literally the two guys I've seen run the football like that are Derrick Henry and Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Josh is definitely the better runner, the rusher in terms of it. Hurts is great for scrambling.
Oh
and
yeah,
getting
and I'm not
yards.
trying to knock Hurts at all. I'm just saying when you don't usually see a quarterback that you would want to just lower his pads through linebackers and defensive.
Cam Newton was like that too.
A little bit, yeah. There's some
Yeah.
time when Cam Newton was like that for sure.
Yeah.
I kind of want to rip the Band-Aid off of the Eagles game right
Yeah,
now.
we should talk about that.
Damn.
Yeah, I think Cam Newton forgot to mention Jalen Hurts in the game manager conversation. I'm kidding, but that was fucking terrible.
He was
Like,
really bad.
that was so bad.
I think this is the most worried I've ever been about Jalen Hurts. I think this is the only time I've ever been worried about Jalen Hurts. Like,
Yeah.
I think, the last 2 weeks, he didn't play good necessarily, or great, but he also wasn't bad. He didn't play them out of games, really, but I wasn't worried about where he was going or where his direction was, but after that game, I am officially worried.
Yeah.
The turnovers are a problem. His decision making just seems way off. It's like uncharacteristically off.
Yeah.
He's like, the one thing that I've loved about him is how good of a decision maker he is, and that was 2021 and 2022. He was great at making decisions and great with the football, taking care of it. He has more turnovers this year than he did in 2021 and 2022 combined.
Yeah, I believe it.
Like, it's ridiculous how bad the turnovers have gotten this year. He still has time to clean it up. And I think if the Eagles don't stand in their way and continuously shoot themselves in the foot with these turnovers and just careless mistakes overall, like even plays that don't result in turnovers, just not being able to keep drives going, like, I think if they keep doing that, they're obviously losing.
Yeah.
Not in the wild card, but that second round, that divisional opponent is going to be tough. But if they clean it up, I think they have a fighter. I'll give them a fighter's chance against San Fran, but I still wouldn't pick them.
No.
I don't know what the hell happened in the postseason, but this is not the Birds
No.
we saw last year.
No,
I think
I
not
mean,
at all.
every single game has
Yeah.
been we've clawed for the
Yeah,
victory,
right.
and it was not. There was no blowouts, no close. Like it was. Dude, you're on the edge of your seat every Sunday.
Yeah.
You know.
Which I knew it was coming. Like I knew it was coming that every game was going to be a dogfight. But like
I did.
there's also like a point where you have to clean up. And like at this point in the year, I thought I would be seeing 0 turnover games.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You know, it like you said,
For one.
Hurts. Best part about Hurts was just his playmaking and decision making.
Yeah.
And you're just not seeing that effectiveness he had last year whatsoever.
It
Did you
feels
see
like-
how wide open the left
I
side
was
is?
just
Yeah.
gonna say,
Yeah,
it
like-
feels like every week there's a like still shot that comes out of Hurts missing open people.
He's not running when he should, and he's running when he shouldn't. You know, it's
Yeah,
just
there's
depressing.
too many run designs like getting drawn up. It's ridiculous.
But the thing is, you know, all the other teams in the offseason, they had ample time to learn and to counter what we ran last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen that we've changed up a lot,
Yeah.
you know, but not enough for defenses to kind of have an idea of where we're going to take the ball and what direction we're going to go with it.
Yeah.
So,
It's just infuriating. We have the best kicker, and we needed like a first down just to like get him in range for him to probably make the game tying field goal, but he wants to throw in the triple coverage. To
You know
AJ
what?
Brown.
the double pass interferences in that fourth quarter
Yeah.
killed me.
Yeah.
On Quez Watkins and then the interception. And then there was pass interference on the offense for that game-winning touchdown,
Yeah.
which,
I can't get too mad about the Quez throw because he shouldn't have even been looking there. To begin
that
with.
was very underthrown, but, they would call that kind of that pass interference on us.
Yeah, or if it's against the Chiefs.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when a jersey gets grabbed like that, it's like almost inexcusable for an official to miss it. But
time they
I
did.
do agree with Jack. Like he wasn't really open. I think in these fourth quarter situations on both of these interceptions, I think you're only throwing that pass if he has 2 or 3 steps on his guy and no safety help.
Mm-hmm.
Like Quez was not over Julian Love, and AJ Brown didn't really have a beat on his corner either, and he underthrew it.
Yeah.
So I just don't I think they were just 2 bad decisions. I think if Hurts continues to just take what the defense is giving him, especially on the Quez one, we're not even looking in a situation where you have to force something deep to AJ Brown later in the game.
No.
I think if we just keep the sticks moving, drain out a lot of clock, even if you have to settle for a field goal, the Seahawks aren't going to get a minute 52 on the clock like they did when you had to punt the ball away to them because you couldn't keep the chains moving.
Yeah.
I just think the Eagles are just getting in their way. I don't think Seattle really beat them. I don't have many complaints for the defense. I really don't. My one is James Bradbury.
Yeah. Did
James
you
Bradbury
see
is
every
terrible.
play on that final drive was his responsibility?
No, and it's weird with all those young, inexperienced guys that we had in the secondary that night, like Ricks and Ringo. The Seahawks continuously on that final drive went at James Bradbury. Yeah. That says something.
Debo is right.
Cooked.
He's right.
Yeah, no, he was. He's cooked.
Yeah, I mean, Blankenship, first off, has seriously shaped up into one of the best players.
Played a lot better, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But honestly, I gotta say, it's the D-line I haven't been seeing as much as I've liked to do out of them.
I brought that up multiple times also.
Going into this season, I'm like, oh, we got the baddest guys possible on our D-line.
Yeah.
And, we got like 1, maybe 2 sacks that game?
Yeah.
And it should have been way more, so...
Drew Lock played really well, I will say.
I disagree. He played sloppy until the fourth
here's the thing.
quarter.
He cleaned it up at the end of the game.
That's what I mean.
He played okay. I thought he played okay.
Those last couple of passes he had, and I know that the wide receivers did beat the Eagles defenders, but still, some of those passes were like...
Some of them.
Okay, my expectations were very low on the
if you
guy.
were seeing a guy passing it, you would be like, okay, like... I would expect him to make it. If you realized it was Drew Lock making this pass, you'd be like, "Wow, I was not expecting that."
Well, I don't know. I don't think he necessarily outplayed anyone.
Yeah.
I just
and
he made the plays when he needed to, but I don't think he was outplaying Hurts until he went on that game-winning drive. Right?
Okay, that's fair.
Hurts looked really good.
Yeah.
Until
pretty much until the fourth quarter. I just thought he had multiple chances in that fourth quarter on drives to drain clock and to take away their will. The Eagles could have ended that game multiple times, but Hurts.
It's just painful.
Yeah,
man.
and I'm not gonna account the AJ Brown interception as losing them the game because I don't know. There was shit before that you needed to do. Where that wouldn't have even been a...
Wait, the end zone interception?
No. That one. That
Lost
drive accounts to them losing the game.
Yeah.
And then the drive after that, because the defense stopped them after the interception, we get the ball back. And we're driving, chewing clock. It's at 2 minutes. And then we stall out because it was just incompletion, and I'm pretty sure another incompletion or a throw short of the sticks.
There was a turnover on downs.
We have to punt.
Yeah.
No, we punted. We punted. Yeah, we punted and pinned them at the 8. So that drive is that drive and the interception to Quez. Those are 2 money drives where that's where you earn the $250 million that we gave you,
Yeah,
and you didn't do it.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
So Panthers got their second win.
Yeah. So you skipped over so many games, and then
why are we not talking about the Jaguars? Jaguars.
I was gonna finish with it.
Okay,
I think we should just go.
No. Okay, I just want to talk to the Panthers quickly.
I want to like make a case for Arthur Smith getting fired because he tanked all my fantasy.
He's getting fired.
Jack, we agree with you. There's not gonna be an argument here.
No, I'm just so angry. I drafted Bijan.
Dude, it's not like we sat here last week and said
Arthur Smith
and said, if Brandon, like, we didn't make a case for Brandon Staley getting fired. It was no, dude. They were gonna fire him. They're missing the playoffs.
I think it's bigger than football. I think there's a reason that he hasn't been using Bijan. I think it's bigger than football.
I think he's fighting his GM.
Are you
saying it's bigger than football?
Okay, wait, that could be it. Wait, Slade just says something interesting.
I'm just speculating.
Okay, wait, here's the answer. It could be despite.
Yeah, he's fighting his GM with this Bijan stuff. No, I think he's fighting his GM. They shouldn't have drafted Bijan.
So, Ravens and Jaguars. I think the Jaguars are frauds. I don't know about you guys.
Not frauds.
I think they're frauds.
No, here's what happened.
They're frauds.
Here's what happened. Brandon McManus sold. That's what happened.
I didn't see what happened.
He missed 2 kicks. First of all, the one was a 54-yard field.
So they would have lost by 10 instead of
No, it would have been 13. What was the final score? It was 20-7. He makes those 2 kicks. It's 13-7. It's a 1-possession game.
It was 23.
Okay, so it's still 10. Plus the fumble. They should have scored a touchdown on one of those 2 series where T-Law fumbled it at the 30-yard line and then not spiking it with 4 seconds left. That was the most ridiculous play calling I've ever seen. So you score a touchdown there, get those 2 field goals, then you're only down by a touchdown.
That's so just not dumb.
I'm not saying it's dumb.
No, yeah, I know, but it is so unlike. It's
so
yeah.
I understand the idea was you get the ball with the clock running with 16 seconds, you hope the Ravens aren't set up, and you take a shot at the end zone. Why they passed it on a screen 4 yards in front of the end zone makes no sense to me. You take a shot at the end zone, you stop the clock if nothing's open, and you get one more play before kicking an easy field goal. Yeah. At that point, then it would have been 10-3, and then you're only done by.
So was it 1st and goal?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and there was 16.
16 with the clock running.
There, clock is not really an issue necessarily.
Because they could have spiked it, or they could have taken a shot at the end zone.
Yeah, right.
And they did the one thing you possibly can't do, which is pass a screen, the guy gets tackled inbounds, and they didn't have any timeouts left.
Yeah, right.
And again, they missed 2 field goals, and T-Law's fumble was horrible. Because he was running, tried to slide, nobody hit him, and he just straight up dropped it. Yeah. I'm sorry, that cannot happen. No. The Jaguars aren't frauds. They just shot themselves in the foot this week. Ravens team that's really, really good.
Yeah, you're definitely right about that.
Christian Kirk shot himself in the balls. But
yeah.
prayers out to him, really.
Yeah,
that was painful to watch.
Yeah.
But I even say before that incident, Trevor Lawrence was not utilizing Christian Kirk enough. I mean, I'd watched him play, and he was
after last year.
Is this a fantasy interest or?
The interest comes. Yeah. But no, in all truthfulness, I've seen multiple times where he's been wide open in the middle because he's usually in the slot, and Lawrence is looking out for Ridley or short pass to ETN. So, or wait, ETN.
Yeah. I will also say the Ravens have probably my favorite defensive player to watch off ball in Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah.
That dude is a stud. They literally put him all over the field. And he's just one of those guys that whenever I watch him, he's just so fun because you know that he's going to be able to make a play no matter where he is.
Yeah, I think the Eagles missed taking Davis over Hamilton because they traded up to 13 to get Davis.
Yeah, but we had such high hopes for Jordan Davis.
I know, but he just, I see him getting pushed back way too much. Like, dude, you are 300 effing pounds. Like, can you fucking push someone forward, please?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Like, he's a huge reason why the Eagles' run defense looks so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And Hamilton is, insane.
Yeah.
Hamilton is generational. Hamilton should have gone number 1, 2, 3 in that draft.
Mm-hmm.
Well, considering that was the one where Trey Lance was taken, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Zach Wilson, right?
Yeah, you can talk about the Eagles drafting wrong, but I'm sorry, there's no reason these teams should have taken a quarterback.
I know.
Over, especially the 49ers. There's no reason.
Yeah.
Why? Because they still have Garoppolo at that point. And I'm not saying Garoppolo is great,
And now it looks like they got their guy in the 7th round.
Yeah.
Like, and literally the last pick possible.
Speaking of getting quarterbacks in the first round, I swear if the Giants don't stick with DeVito,
You think they will? There's no way.
They can't draft the guy because like they're already paying DJ so much. But...
Yeah, you can't go.
Yeah, I feel like you have to start him.
and it's also, I mean, you look at freaking I already forgot his freaking name. Daniel Jones. He was freaking dog shit.
He's terrible. He's terrible.
And then fucking Giants are 3-0 since they fucking put in the Italian.
3-1.
3-1, but they put in the Italian and some magic. You know what I'm saying? Come on, he can cook it. He can cook shit up. It's
I said it last week. I love everything.
Come on, you saw his agent, huh?
Dude, it's pretty funny.
It's gold.
All that stuff
And
is
freaking,
so
dude,
cool.
New York loves it.
Yeah,
he fucking drives to the stadium. He was with his mother stuff.
That's like sick.
Here's how it would be
That's
better.
actually sick.
Is if he was a
He lives
Jet.
with his mom.
That's what would make the story. Like the Giants are cool, but if you got a Jet with the amount of Italian Americans that are Jets fans from like the Queens area, like I'm sorry, that would have made the story so much better.
Yeah. Very true.
I think it'll be a competitive training camp though. Like you can't just ignore the fact that he went 3-1.
No, you can't.
No, you can't. They looked a lot
I had
better.
such high expectations for Daniel Jones too after last year.
Oh, you did?
You did?
I did, yeah. I said that he kind of.
Great takes recently.
Well, no. All I said is that he deserved the contract that he got because he didn't have the weapons around him. And look, it was on the podcast. This was one of the videos that was talked about.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
All I was doing was making an argument for Daniel Jones getting that contract. He got it.
Yeah, you're right.
All I said is that Daniel Jones didn't have the weapons. If you go into the general manager's office, you can't be Daniel Jones and say, "Hey, I don't deserve this money," because he definitely deserved it because of the way that he played without any talented weapons. Well, the Giants got decent weapons now. Saquon's been healthy all year, and he looked awful.
Yeah.
And the Giants made a mistake. I made a mistake as well, saying that he deserved that money.
I say they just cut Daniel Jones, cut their losses, and give it to the Italian.
They definitely could trade him.
Yeah, the Commanders are looking for a quarterback right now.
I think people would do it.
The Commanders.
No, Sam Howell's playing
Howell's
playing great.
Dude, think about the teams that are going to be moving on from their quarterback.
Oh, maybe the Patriots.
Atlanta.
Mac Jones has heart.
Vegas.
Mac
And now
Jones.
Belichick.
There's no way Vegas goes into next year with Jimmy Garoppolo as their quarterback.
Bailey Zappi outplayed Mac Jones this year in this last game.
But he's got heart.
So does Bailey Zappi. Bailey Zappi had the...
Is this because he's Irish?
No, but Mac Jones, Bailey Zappi isn't, crying and throwing his helmet on the ground when they lose. Mac Jones.
No, because Bailey
he's got
Zappi
heart.
balled
He's
out
got
in
heart.
college and wasn't carried by his defense to a national championship.
And Devontae Smith.
5,000 passing yards at Western Kentucky. Tell me this guy can't play in the NFL.
Bailey Zappi's good.
Okay, the laptop's getting close to dying,
Yeah.
so I think we should do the Paddy's
Yeah.
picks.
Yeah, Paddy's picks.
Paddy's picks. All right, here we go. Do you have like a little like?
No,
Sound.
I wish.
All right. So for week 16, I got Saints at Rams. I got Rams. First off, we got that creativity with a K, Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, I
know?
agree. Yeah.
He can make
How
stuff
many
happen.
Ks?
All right. So when they can make it going on offense, they get it going, and they look beautiful doing it. Defensively, you got Aaron Donald. Enough said right there.
Yeah.
I mean, he can make some serious magic
I saw
happen.
a picture of him wearing a shirt all sweated up, and you could still see his abs, and he's like 300 pounds.
he's
That's
fucking-
insane.
he's
Yeah, and the way that the
ridiculous,
Saints
man.
offensive line's been recently, I think that he could have
Yeah.
a pretty good game.
Yeah.
Not even that. I mean, Kamara's decent, but
I seriously,
don't
I think they should just leave him on the left tackle that they drafted first round, the Saints, who's
I
been
see that
terrible.
happening.
What the hell is his name?
I don't know.
Trevor Penning or something? He's horrible.
All right. Well, Bengals at Steelers. I'm going to give it to the Steelers. I know this is a hot topic here, but, you got Pickett Power. Steelers defense. What?
First time I've
What?
heard that.
Bro, I got nicknames for all of these, so you guys you better get ready. I had 3 hours to do this.
If I was with his wife.
Wait, who are they playing?
Who's his wife? Never mind.
Who do the Steelers play?
The Bengals.
You're picking the Steelers?
Yeah. First off, Jamar's questionable. And
He's out, I think. This week.
he's out.
Yeah, he's
So,
out.
all right, that's in my opinion. When he's out, they're pretty easy stuff. So,
Especially without Burrow.
yeah, and without Burrow as well. Jeez, Mixon unpredictable as well. Last time we played the Steelers, only 8 points. So
Yeah.
if history repeats itself, pretty obvious. Bills at Chargers. I'm going to go with Bills. Like I said, Josh Allen's a coach's worst nightmare and their wet dream. High risk, high reward. Probably throw 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions.
I will say, watch out in that game for the interim head coach magic that will come with the Chargers. For whatever reason, interim head coaches in their first game have recently done so well.
And they hate Brandon Staley more than so they're gonna put
so they let go, and they probably cleaned house. I mean,
their general manager's gone too.
Yeah, and I mean,
Bills
coordinators.
No, Chargers.
Coordinators have to go.
Oh, that I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they probably did.
Around.
They probably are gone.
But that's going to be a good game. I mean, they both got crazy weapons.
Yeah.
Commanders at Jets. I'm going to go Commanders. All right, so for the Jets, I got field goal fiesta. That seems really...
Yeah.
That's fitting.
This is the only thing they're pretty...
and this game might be a siesta, honestly.
Yeah. We'll see. See how Howell can... Howell doesn't rhyme with anything I got.
Well, the Jets' defense is QB hell.
Yeah,
I mean, they have really locked up every single good quarterback, so I don't see how.
Week 1.
Yeah.
Freaking disgusting.
Yeah.
Without Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
they fucking...
Yeah.
They got Garrett Wilson, and when Zach Wilson does start to connect with him, they get pretty deadly, but they still never manage.
Is
to
Zach
make
Wilson going to
anything
be
of it.
out this game?
I don't know if they've announced a starter.
I
yet.
doubt. After
I
his
don't
mom
think
came out and was like,
Oh, that's right, with the concussion.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
It
he's
doesn't
gonna
sound
play.
like he's
I
gonna
doubt
play.
it, especially this late in the season.
Yeah, and they were talking about depth perception issues.
Yeah.
I don't see him
Yeah, I
playing.
forgot about that injury. Yeah, he's definitely not playing.
Yeah.
I doubt Rodgers.
Commanders
comes
is
back.
probably the
Yeah.
right pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Brian Robinson Jr. is going to possibly have a crazy game because of the secondary. They're going to be scared to throw it. Lions at Vikings. I got Lions again. Jefferson is back, but I think he's,
Got
not where he
Mullins at
was. It's going
quarterback.
to take a couple games to get back to where he was. And Laporta, just easily one of the best tight ends in the league.
I'm surprised you missed the opportunity for Mullins magic. You're not going to take the Vikings in an upset?
I said Mullen's decent. I'm not giving him that. He's still got to prove himself to be part of this.
That's fair.
Browns at Texans. I got the Browns. Ford is solid. And Amari and Peoples-Jones, they can get it done.
Mm.
Joe Flacco, elite.
Yeah. Dead Flacco, yeah. Dude.
Yeah.
Packers at Panthers. Got Packers. That's I'm no interest in that.
Self-explanatory,
game.
yeah.
Gotta
Yeah.
be, yeah.
Seahawks at Titans. Seahawks, again.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch that game because I'm
Nope.
still pissed at them. But
Yeah, I hate them. Nah, I'm fine. They're good.
Colts at Falcons. I didn't even say anything for that one. Jags at Buccaneers. Buccaneers. Lawrence is struggling. Kirk got his nuts crushed.
Baker
enough
looked
said.
really
Ba-
good.
And Baker, and he can pop off.
Yeah.
We got Mike Evans and Godwin
Yeah.
too.
Wait, hold
I mean,
on.
that's what.
Yeah.
You're picking the Bucks over the Jags, so that means the Jags are frauds, like I said earlier.
I mean,
Gotta be.
I wouldn't say
Baker
they're
just had a
frauds.
game where he had a perfect passer rating.
Yeah, no, Baker's playing great this year, but
That's
I'm just saying, you would think the Jags would win that game.
I think it's more of an offensive strategy issue
Okay.
with the Jaguars because, again, they have some great players. Even with Kirk out, they're making horrible plays. All right, Cowboys at Dolphins. I got the Dolphins. First off, F the Cowboys. They have an overrated offense that can make they can make it work.
I don't know about that.
But they have a solid defense, and that's where
really do,
That's where
yeah.
Miami's going to really struggle. But the key with Miami is it's speed.
Yeah.
Okay, speed.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, Mike McDaniels, that's all he thinks of.
Yeah,
When it's
that's
his
very
turn.
And
You
I
he's
think
on PCP.
Probably, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm still convinced he got the head coach position from gambling in Miami. It's like the owner didn't have enough to pay him. He's like, all right, how about I'll just make you head coach. Speed, adversity, Waddle, secret weapon, 8-chan, weak spot Tua. They got to pull Tua out the game.
Really?
Tua is slacking.
Mhm.
Heavily.
I don't think
he's
I
overly
mean,
throwing passes unless it's Tariq. They're perfect, but anyone else, it's sloppy.
yeah.
So used to throwing
Sloppy.
at that cadence, like no one else can match up.
Exactly. That's the issue. It's like it's not Tyreek Hill you're throwing to. He's not gonna be able to be there. Cardinals at Bears. Don't give. I gave Cardinals.
I'm gonna go Bears just because.
Patriots at Broncos. I'm giving it to Pats. Belichick announced his leave. Yeah, I mean, I think Belichick's gonna really be fired up here. And I mean, for the Broncos country, let's ride maybe a couple dots of Jerry Jeudy. We'll see how it goes.
I benched Sutton this week for Njoku in my flex position.
Oof. All right, ballsy move.
Yeah. Well, Njoku's been going off.
Yeah.
I gave up on him too fast.
Yeah, you really did.
Raiders at Chiefs. I'm giving it to the Raiders. The offensive coordinator. They had a great game last week. You know, even with Jacobs questionable, they really made it happen last week. And Devontae Adams, defense is strong. We talked about that earlier. Yeah. For the Chiefs, Mahomes is slipping. Kelsey's not seeing enough action, not nearly compared to what he's used to seeing.
Yeah.
He's getting action off the field, though.
Yeah, they got Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
But they got a weak defense, and Kadarius Toney's pretty undisciplined. That's why he got traded there in the first place.
It's very true. Yeah.
Giants, he was sloppy.
Yeah.
Giants at Eagles. Giants. And that hurts me to say. But, you know, you got DeVito is going to be able to cook up the Italian style.
I can't believe this is the state of the
Eagles. You got Saquon Barkley, and then they got the refs in favor of them, you know, because
I think I might never show up to another episode again.
Unpredictable defense. Birds are slipping. They got, you know, strong offense and defense, but just keep managing to fucking lose games. And they got Sirianni, you know, that's Italian stallion. I'm kidding, by the way. Go Birds. You know, Birds got this. Ravens at Niners. Got CMC, Kittle, Debo Magic, Mr. Irrelevant, IU chemistry, impeccable defense. And Ravens just got Lamar, who I think is going to get stuffed up by Joey Bosa. So that's about it.
I think it's going to be a shootout.
What?
I think it's going to be a shootout, like both teams in the 30s.
We'll see.
Here's the thing, and this is why I think the Cowboys are going to beat the Dolphins. I don't think the Dolphins are a physical enough team. And I feel the same rate, similar to the Ravens, but the Ravens are more physical than the Dolphins, but I think the Dolphins lose.
Okay.
Do you guys have anything else, though?
That's it.
No, that'll be it for me.
I'd like to thank you for having me here.
Oh, yeah,
This was
of
a
course.
wonderful
of course.
time.
This won't be the last time.
Yeah.
I hope not. I look forward to coming back.
Okay, we'll see you next week.